Prime Video, the new home of Thursday Night Football, welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Brand new NFL television package, brand new sideline field reporter. Downstairs we go and welcome in Kaylee Hartung. Kaylee.
Hey there, thanks Al. The Texans' top draft choice, Derek Stingley, needs to play. According to head coach Lovie Smith, Smith is counting on the number 3 draft pick to tighten up what was a porous defense a year ago. Stingley was an All-American as a freshman on a national championship winning team at LSU, but then COVID and a foot injury limited him to just 10 games his last 2 years of college. Still, the Texans made him only the 2nd corner selected in the top 3 in the last 25 years. So from day one, the Texans had a plan to help his recovery, and now Lovie Smith says he is everything we thought he would be. Stingley told me he was a little bit nervous to take the field last week for the first time in 11 months, but he settled in quick and he had fun. And even with Deebo Samuel on the other side of the ball tonight, Stingley told me no matter the opponent, he is just looking to give effort on every play out.
Thank you, Kaylee. We saw him last week in L.A. Lovie Smith is back. 9 years as the coach of the Bears. Then he went to Tampa Bay for 2. That didn't work out particularly well, nor did his seasons at the University of Illinois. But last year came back here. He was on David Culley's staff. He's their 4th head coach in the last 3 seasons. And on the other side, Kyle Shanahan begins his 6th season as the head coach in San Francisco. Happy birthday to Daddy Mike, who turned 70 yesterday. Looking great, sounding great. Talked to him last night. Kyle with that regular season mark, 4-2 in postseason, 1 Super Bowl appearance, and got within 10 minutes of going to the Super Bowl again last season, losing to the Rams.
What an incredible run he has been on as a head coach in San Francisco. And in our Zoom yesterday, feels that this team could be as good as any team that he's had so far as the head coach.
Texans won the toss. They have deferred. So Matt Amendola, no relation to Danny. In fact, it's not even spelled the same way. He will kick off. Was with the Jets last year. Kami Fairbairn has what they call a minor injury, and they expect him to be able to kick in 17 days in the opener. Ray McLeod, former Steeler, to run it back for the 49ers. So the Texans and the 49ers wrapping up their preseason tonight as McLeod picks it at the 2-yard line and brings it back to the 19-yard line. So here comes Trey Lance. 2nd year, very little experience, 1 full season at North Dakota State, same school that produced Carson Wentz. 2 games last season, 1-1 with 603 yards and 168 on the ground. So he can run. He gives you a different set of skills and talent than does Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, as a defensive coordinator, you have got to be aware of the arm strength and the ability to create, and what kind of defense you call will depend on how he's playing with his legs and arm.
Probably a couple of series tonight, starting to trip, but keeping his footing, still gaining only 1, is Jeff Wilson, one of a bevy of 49er running backs, even though Elijah Mitchell, who won't play tonight, figures to be the starter in the opener.
I think with Trey Lance, one thing about him, he's known for his poise, and I talked about in the open how there's a tendency to want to press, and you know, you're amped up, you're a competitor, you want to make plays. They said he's had a great camp. He's really changed his throwing motion a little, trying to get the ball out a little bit quicker, but in this offense, it's about running the ball and hitting the play action pass.
2nd down and 8, off the fake, rolling right, being chased, fires on the money, and that's the game's 1st down. Kyle Juszczyk, and I think there are more 49er fans in Houston tonight than Texan fans as they salute Juszczyk.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Grenard over on the outside. This is really what it's all about, is anytime a defender's got to deal with this offense, with this quarterback, Grenard knows that he's athletic and he's got speed, but he just cheats down a little bit, has to respect that run fake just a little bit, and it allows Lance to get out on the outside where he's very comfortable throwing the ball on the run.
49ers use a ton of motion. They do here. Again, the fake in the pocket, getting away and firing on the run, and incomplete. Chase put on that time by Jerry Hughes, who's been in the league for 13 years, most recently with the Buffalo Bills. 2nd and 10.
Pressure got in there pretty quickly, but the athletic ability allows him to keep this play alive. Hughes does a nice job, a veteran knows how to win at the point of attack, uses his hands and quickness, and then it's a matter of trying to keep 5 in the pocket. You do not want to allow him to get outside where he can create.
One of several new pieces on defense. Of course, that's been the hallmark of Lovie Smith's teams, defense and special teams. Finding the hole and getting up to the 43-yard line is Jeff Wilson. Jalen Petrie, the good-looking rookie second rounder out of Baylor, making the stop there. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Linebacker's a little bit slow in responding there. Again, respecting Lance and his ability to run in that zone read look. Nice double team and just opened up, gives him a chance here now on 3rd and short. And this is where he is so dangerous and gives you so many different options because of his ability to run the ball.
Deebo Samuel, top of the screen. Going deep to Samuel down the sideline. There's a battle for it at the 20-yard line. And that is Steven Nelson. He's been in the league a while, most recently with Philadelphia, breaking up in his 4th down.
How about that? How about Steven Nelson? He talked about a silver lining. Everybody's talking about Derek Stingley, the rookie from LSU, but Steven Nelson, a veteran, shows you what he can do stride for stride. He ends up getting his eyes turned around and ends up knocking that ball away from Deebo Samuel with that left arm bar.
So the 49ers punting. Mitch Wisnowski, one of the 2 Aussie punters in the game. Cameron Johnston on the other side to send it down toward Desmond King. King drifts, fields at the 15 and gets smoked right off the bat. Malik Turner is right there to stop him in his tracks. 2 minutes 15 seconds into the game as we take a look at the hit before the run back, and Davis Mills and the Texans take the field when we come back. All right, tomorrow 8 Eastern time, flyweight championship belt on the line. Mixed martial arts action of the One Championship premiering tomorrow at 8 Eastern, exclusively on Prime Video. Houston on the 25th night of August. First blown call of the night is by the officials. This should have been a penalty. Helmet to helmet here.
Yeah, helmet to helmet, defenseless player. You could call it either way. He lowers the headgear, forcible contact. King actually slow to come off the field. Turner trying to fight to make this roster as a receiver. He's known for his special teams ability, and this is exactly what the league is trying to eliminate.
Got away with it. All right, Davis Mills played a lot last season in place of the injured Tyrod Taylor. Deshaun Watson spent the whole year inactive. Now, obviously, as you all know, in Cleveland. So this is Mills' team, at least at the start of the season. In the pocket, under pressure, and gets swamped by that 49er defensive line. And that is the hallmark of this team. Samson Ebukam and Hassan Ridgeway converge on him for the sack.
Yeah, heck, the left tackle gets beat on the left side. Bukan does a nice job with his quickness. This is an issue. We were with him last week in SoFi. It's a problem. Just quickness to the outside gets beaten. Now remember, Laramie Tunsil is not in the game. One of the best left tackles. They're not playing him tonight.
Now here goes the star of training camp, Dameon Pierce. Lasted until the 4th round. Comes out of Florida, and they pretty much anointed him as the opening day starter. Played very well in the first preseason game, rested him last week, which pretty much told us that Lovey's getting him ready for the opener, and he's going to play a little bit tonight.
Yeah, get him back into rhythm before you open up week 1. Just trying to protect him. He'll mix in tonight, especially in the first half.
And the veteran Rex Burkhead comes in on 3rd down, 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Mills checks it down and fires close to a first down, but a flag is thrown. Chris Conley is right there at the 25-yard line, but we'll get the call from Sean Hockley.
Yeah, the Titus Howard, the right tackle, just grabs on.
Roughing the passer, defense number 94. Wow. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. It's first down.
Charles Omenihu with the penalty.
It's just a low hit. You know how protective they are, the quarterbacks. Anytime you're going to come in low like that, it's going to be called. Great call by the official. And they're short of the first down. Conley did not quite get another yard or two would have given him the first down, so the Texans catch a break.
Inches shy as they march it now out to the 40-yard line. Davis Mills, he was the 8th of 10 quarterbacks selected in last year's draft. Trey Lance was the 3rd. Trevor Lawrence went 1st. And then Wilson went to the Jets 2nd. And then Mills went in the 3rd round. Nice hold here over the right side. And that is Dameon Pierce looking for all the world on his first couple of carries, like a guy who will start on opening day.
Yeah, watch the right guard, Khan, along with the fullback on this right side. Nice double team and then climb up to the linebacker. Really good job right here. He helps and then gets up to that next level. And you also see the fullback does a nice job, Hairston. It's really good, clean blocking. And as we saw week 1 against the Saints, Pierce does not need a lot of room because he doesn't hesitate and accelerates upfield.
3rd and 1. Mills is going to throw deep on 3rd and 1. And the pass is incomplete over the back shoulder of Conley, who is covered well on the play down the sideline. And it's 4th down.
Well, one of the guys who have been the talk of camp has been Womack, Sam Womack, the young rookie out of Toledo. He's usually on the inside of that nickel spot, and this time he's a little bit completely different role being on the outside. I'm sure D'Amico Ryans, the defensive coordinator, wants to see him inside and outside to see what he can offer, maybe as far as providing depth, but he would be their guy right now at that nickel spot.
Preseason for me too. It's 3rd down, 3rd and 1. Hand it off here, and breaking tackles to the 39-yard line, and you can see why this guy has been the sudden star here. Dameon Pierce stopped by George Odom. You know, sometimes rookies come into the talk of training camp and they get waived the 2nd week.
Yeah.
Not this guy.
Now, this play is designed to go to your right and watch the vision by Pierce. This is what separates him, is sees it, makes the cutback right here, and gives him a chance to pick up positive yards and a first down.
From the 39-yard line. Give it to him again, and another big gain. So Kirk, you know college football as well as anybody. Why did this guy kind of basically sit on the bench, didn't play that much at Florida?
Well, there is a lot of depth. You know, Dan Mullen, the head coach at the time, he rotated a lot of different guys in. I mean, it's easy to look at Pierce right now, and it started in the Senior Bowl and has carried over into camp here for the Texans. They're very excited. Lovie Smith's been in this league a long time, and he knows what an NFL running back looks like. It didn't take him long to see Pierce can become their go-to guy and a leader in that backfield.
Averaging 8 yards a carry on his first 4. Now the ball goes to Rex Burkhead, who's been in the league for 10 years. Played his college ball back at Nebraska.
You know, and I know this is preseason, but Pep Hamilton, remember we talked this morning about a new offensive coordinator, what's he trying to do? He wants to bring in a mentality where they control the line of scrimmage. Even if you know they're going to run it, they want to be able to run the football with Pierce to set up Mills in more favorable passing situations off of play action. Very similar to his days at Stanford and what he wants to do. I told you it's called intellectual brutality. He's got to be very happy. This is the best they've looked in their 3 preseason games to look on a nice long drive like this.
Big coaching staff changed, but Lovie got elevated, and Pep got elevated from quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator. Curtis Robinson for the timeout. Here is the injured 49er as he gets up to one knee. And it will be 3rd down and 1 when play resumes. One of a large group of defensive linemen. The 49ers have drafted basically, as you look at Lovie, through the recent years with John Lynch coming in and with Shanahan, they put such a, as you look at D'Amico Ryans, their new defensive coordinator, 2nd year anyway, as Robert Saleh went to the Jets. But such a premium was placed on that defensive line.
It's smart. You know, Kyle Shanahan's known obviously for his offensive mind, but they do a great job of emphasizing that position, and they've gotten some difference makers over the last 3 or 4 years.
3rd and 1, Pierce is back in. His 5th carry is for first. They can't stop him.
Well,
to the 25. Downstairs we go to Kaylee.
Hey, well, Dameon Pierce told me I'd rather dictate a hit than let anyone hit me. That's why you see him in that punishing running style. Football is a violent game, he said, and I've come to learn to embrace contact and control it. Now,
So far, what a start for him. Played extremely well in their preseason opener against New Orleans. Was on the bench last week against the Rams. And a great start for him tonight. Pass comes to the outside. Open there. Chris Moore. And Moore stays on his feet. Stays in bounds. And will set up a first down and goal.
You start running the football and a little mix-up on the outside. San Fran brings a blitz. And nobody's there. Actually late, you see a blitz come right here. Watch Moore once he catches his ball and gets to the outside. He's able to break free and show you what he can do after the catch. A little rub there, gives him a little bit more room. The stiff arm, and down the sidelines he goes. Just a heck of a drive right now by the Texans.
Yeah, it started with a sack. And then they were the beneficiary of a penalty, a 15-yarder, to give them a first down. And now it's thrown into the end zone. A little fight for it there, and a flag gets thrown here. Nico Collins and Samuel Womack are both there, and the flag is thrown.
Remember, Womack is the nickel, and they've got him playing on the outside here.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. But the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. It's first down.
Houston's very confident what Nico Collins can do when they get down in the red area to go up into the air. He's exceptional at high pointing the ball, and especially against an undersized corner. In my opinion, Womack never really gets it turned around and gives him a chance to play the ball. And because of that, you can see how physical he is, and that's why the penalty came out.
Collins, their number 2 receiver. Brandon Cooks, clearly number 1, hasn't played at all in preseason. First down and goal. Handed off to Pierce. Puts his head down and into the end zone he goes for a touchdown. Great opening drive for the Texans. Pierce carries 6 times for 37 yards and gives them the lead.
Hey, everybody's going to talk about Pierce. I'm going to talk about the offensive line the entire drive, not to mention what they do here on the left side and opening this thing up. It's a great job. He's patient. He finds the backside. Hat on a hat. Just give him a little crease. Give him a chance to read it. Gets behind Heck there, and Brevin Jordan, the tight end, lined up on that left side. And they just did right there. They opened up a lot of holes on that drive.
Matt Amendola with the point after. 11-play drive. They go 65 yards. The penalty was big for 15. And halfway through the opening quarter, 7-0 Texans. New era of Thursday night football beginning September the 15th will be in Kansas City. Chargers and the Chiefs. It's a week 2 game. Coverage starting at 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific time. Herbert, Mahomes in the wild and woolly AFC West.
How good would that be? What a way to open things up on the 15th.
It'll be the second game for both teams. KC starts at Arizona on opening day, and the Chargers meet the Raiders. Ray McLeod is back to receive the kick. Again, Fairbairn with a minor injury. Expect him back. Their opener is 17 days away. So they had to bring Matt Amendola in to at least kick tonight. McLeod from the 5. Little juggle. And then squirts up to the 24-yard line. Timeline for Trey Lance. Wanted to go to the University of Minnesota, wound up at North Dakota State. Gophers weren't that interested in him. Walter Payton Award, FCS National Championship, perfect season. Only 1 game in 20 due to COVID. 3rd overall pick in the draft, and they actually drafted and picked him and gave away some draft choices to get him. 71 pass attempts in 6 games. He doesn't have a lot of experience, and tonight he's going to get sacked as he drops back on the second play at the 15-yard line. So that graphic was very interesting. Very little experience in college, a little bit of experience last year, and they hand the keys to him. As I said on the pregame show, he gets the Ferrari, just don't crash it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a risk. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, when he's healthy, 2 times he played an entire season. He goes to the Super Bowl, and he's in the NFC Championship game. And yet you pick a guy at number 3. At some point, you got to give him a chance. And so that's why he's out there. He's young. We all want to know, is he ready for the speed of the game? And only time will tell. He just needs reps.
Off the hands that time of the tight end, that's George Kittle. The year he wins the Walter Payton Award, the numbers are like ridiculous. The team is undefeated, counting 4 playoff games. Almost 2,800 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 1,100 yards on the ground.
I mean, when you hear no interceptions, I don't care, again, what level of football you're playing. That tells you about his decision making. I love him when he played in the national championship at the FCS level. He only threw 10 passes, ran it 30 times, selfless.
3rd and 17, escapes, takes off, tackled from behind, up at the 18-yard line. Jerry Hughes runs him down. 4th and long, they'll punt again.
Again, you're dealing with some.
If late flag comes in, as the Hockey League gang will discuss this, punting group has already come out onto the field, but
illegal contact, defense number 21. This 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. It's an automatic first down.
Well, it was 4th down and 16, so it's Steven Nelson who made a great play earlier, and he's the guy that cost them a first down.
Boy, oh boy, you cannot touch him after 5 yards downfield, or the quarterback's in the pocket. There's the 5-yard mark. See if he gets his hands on him after he gets downfield. Oh, it's a good call.
Yep. From 1,500 miles away, Terry McCall.
Yeah, he gave the thumbs up.
The thumbs up. Yep. There you go. Keep it at the 22-yard line. And tough running through the middle for a gain of 6. That's Jeff Wilson.
I'm glad he gave a thumbs up, because when I see that, I see just a touch, just a light touch. But I guess that's all it takes. Past 5 yards, you just put your hands on the receiver. If the quarterback's in the pocket, illegal touching. Only 5, but the automatic first down.
Terry ref 3 Super Bowls.
That's what I'm saying. When he gave a thumbs up, we all gave a thumbs up.
End of story.
Yeah.
2nd and 4. Off the fake. Pass caught. Short gain there. That's Jawan Jennings making the catch, setting up a 3rd down and 3.
You know, we keep talking about Lance, but when this team is healthy up front and everybody's in position, you know, you look at Deebo Samuel, the year he had last year, George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk outside. I mean, these guys are known for yards after the catch. So go back to Lance. He doesn't have to be a superhero. He just has to be out there making decisions and being efficient and letting these guys make plays after their catch.
Niners year after year leading the league in what they call YAC, the yards after catch. No yards after the catch this time, as Nelson is right there to stop Jeff Wilson. Shy of the first down by a yard or so. 4th down and 1.
And even though this is only a preseason game, make no mistake that Lovie Smith and this defense, they're gaining confidence to try to get ready for the regular season after a 4-13 year. And right now with Trey Lance, they're trying to disguise some things in practice, like show one thing, go to another, and try to make him check that down and let the defense rally to the ball.
Texans last year 27th in points allowed, next to last in yards allowed. Wisnowski's kick, angled toward the sideline, good kick, fielded at the 16-yard line, and a run back to the 24-yard line by Graylin Arnold. The statue of Sam Houston here in Houston, Texas on this Thursday night.
And Dameon Pierce gets a lot of attention on that last drive, but let's make no mistake. The big fellas up front did a heck of a job of opening up holes, and this is a big emphasis this year. Look at that double team at the bottom, opening that thing up on the left side, almost 3 yards until he is touched. It was double team after double team. Pep Hamilton telling us this week, I want to put 600 pounds on those defensive tackles and give Dameon some room to be able to read it and find the crease. That was textbook on that last drive on how they opened those holes up and gave the talented running back a chance.
As a man we both love, Keith Jackson would say the big uglies in the trenches.
The big uglies.
Yep. Not even the best one out there tonight. Laramie Tunsil. He'll be there on opening day, but he gets the games in preseason off as he watches from the sideline. Burkhead is the running back on the first play from the 24-yard line of this drive. A little over 4 minutes to play. Play action. Pass is set up. Picks up 5. Brevin Jordan, tight end, making the grab. So last year, Tunsil was out most of the year. So Christian was at left tackle. Then Howard and Britt, who's very good. Sharping and Heck. That was your offensive line. Projected starters, of course, Tunsil will be back. Green, the rookie. Britt in the middle. Can comes over from Jacksonville. And Howard at right tackle.
Boy, Howard goes back to his more natural position. Former first rounder gets him back out at right tackle.
2nd and 5. And this is Burkhead going for a short gain as he crosses the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
And to be clear, this is the worst offensive line, and they had some injuries in the NFL. Worst, last 2 years, they've been the worst rushing offense in the NFL. They hire Pep Hamilton, and what does he say? No problem. We're going to be dedicated to running the football despite the last 2 years. They reshuffle the deck up front, gaining some confidence, but this is who they're going to be. This is their identity, winning that line of scrimmage and taking that pressure off of Davis Mills in the pass game.
Last year they rushed for only 84 yards per game. 3rd and 3, and that pass is batted and incomplete. Try to jam it into Collins. Castro Fields covering on the play, and it's 4th down and 3 for the Texans.
And the rookie from Penn State with really tight coverage. There he is right there, isolated one-on-one. Who's going to win that battle? These two are familiar with each other, both from the Big Ten. Nico Collins in Michigan, and see what Castro Fields can do. Tight coverage. You got that left hand in there without interfering with it.
Cameron Johnston. First 3 years in Philadelphia, now 2nd year here. McLeod will call for and make the fair catch at the 11-yard line with 2:43 to go. Opening quarter, 7-0 Houston. Very odd situation in San Francisco. With Garoppolo, Shanahan's record is 31-14. With everybody else, and granted Lance has only played in 2 games as a starter, 8-28. But they told us, Kyle said, and certainly Lynch is involved in this, John Lynch, this was a business decision. They made this when they drafted Lance.
They knew that this day was coming, and they're committed to it. And he's got incredible upside. The big question is he ready? Is he ready right now when you know what you have with Jimmy Garoppolo? And we'll talk about that throughout this broadcast. What's going to happen to Jimmy here by September 11th, which is when they have to make that deadline decision. But Trey Lance is a guy that I think has a chance to be a superstar. But like a lot of young quarterbacks, he needs reps to get comfortable with not only the system, but reading the coverage and being able to make quick decisions.
You trade up, you give away that draft capital to pick a guy. Number 3, he
got to do
better do it.
Yeah, got to give him the chance, right?
To the outside goes Trey Sermon. Got a flag here. Sermon was a guy picked in the 3rd round out of Ohio State, but he might be a little bit on the bubble right now. Here's Hockley.
Offense number 74. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Play, 1st down.
Spencer Burford, the rookie out of Texas San Antonio.
Yeah, right in the middle, 74 just grabbing on around the neck there of Grenard. What I don't understand, and I know I'm new to the NFL here, is why do 49ers fans and some of the media and some fans think that Jimmy Garoppolo, oh, thank goodness, got rid of him. Let's see what the rookie can do. The 2 times he's been a starter for an entire season, he took Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he didn't take. He was the quarterback. And he got to the Super Bowl and last year to up 10 in the 4th quarter in the NFC Championship. Why is he so bad?
How do I answer that? I'll tell you how I answer it. Familiarity breeds contempt.
Okay.
Trey Sermon to the 19. For more on Garoppolo, we go to Kaylee.
Well, as of right now, it appears all 32 teams have their starting quarterbacks for opening day. So unless someone gets injured, that means only backup jobs are available for Jimmy Garoppolo. But does Jimmy G want to be a backup? And if he can accept that, where would he go? So if no offers come through and he's still on the 49ers roster week 1, his contract will be fully guaranteed for the season with a charge against the team's salary cap just shy of $27 million.
And what's crazy, Kaylee, is that he doesn't even work out with the team. He works out on a separate field in Santa Clara. That pass is a little low, but it is caught up at the 32-yard line. Malik Turner hauling it in for a first down.
Nice job off the play action. Linebackers very aggressive with Lovie Smith in their system. They respect the running game, shoot downhill, and because of that, he has a nice window right behind the backers. Ball is a little bit low, but good focus, good concentration by Turner to come up with that for the first.
49ers use a fullback more than any team in the league. When you have Juszczyk, you might as well do that, even though that's not Juszczyk in there right now. That instead is one of the tight ends who lines up back there. That's Ross Dwelly making the catch.
And again, you got to be careful. You've got to be careful anytime in Kyle Shanahan's offense of these early down play action passes. But it's all about who's on the edge, right? And who's going to be able to contain 5, not let him get to the outside. And you're talking about Jonathan Grenard, who is incredibly intelligent and athletic and is aware of it. But on 1st and 10, he's got to be ready for those play actions coming back the other way.
Gain of 8. Half a minute to go in the quarter. They need 2. Get that plus 3 more as Sherman goes up the middle to the 45-yard line.
You made a great point about Trey Sermon, the second-year player out of Ohio State. I mean, you're looking at 6 running backs that are on this roster. Probably going to have to get down to 4 by Tuesday. Who are they going to release? Who's not going to make it? Because Elijah Mitchell's going to make it. Jeff Wilson looks like he's going to make it. They just drafted the rookie out of LSU, Ty Davis-Price, in the 3rd round. Who's going to be that 4th guy?
And Debo's going to line up in the backfield a lot as well. End of the quarter, 7-0 Thursday Night Football. Back after these messages. Second quarter, NRG Stadium. That's the old Astrodome. Longtime home of the Astros and the Oilers. That was in the foreground as we start the second quarter on a first down from the 44 and jumping across, but the play continues. But the Texans were offside there. Mario Addison came across.
Offside. Defense number 97. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
During the break, Kaylee talked with Lovie Smith.
Well, Coach, after seeing your offense get off to an explosive start, what impressed you most about how they did it?
Well, we're a running football team, so whenever you can, score 7 points, doing it the old-fashioned way, running the football is big. Damon Pierce is a good football player. Offensive line did a great job.
Yeah, what do you attribute to that work in the trenches on both sides of the ball?
I mean, that's who we are. I mean, that's what we practice. In order for us to have success, we have to be able to do that, put a lot of emphasis into it. Hopefully we'll be able to continue.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Charlie Werner, the tight end, makes the catch and is able to break a tackle and take it up to the 46. Second. It's great to see Lovie back. And by the way, if he needs a side job, how about coming down a chimney on December the 24th, right?
Oh, it's a good look.
It's
a good look. It fits him perfectly. I enjoyed talking to some of their players yesterday, and they said, if we make a mistake, we feel like we're letting him down. He doesn't yell. We just don't want to let the guy down.
Native Texan from Big Sandy, which is a little town in eastern Texas. As Trey Sermon goes next to nowhere. It'll be 3rd down and short. Of course, the great left tackle. There he is in civvies. Expect to have him back in good health opening day when they open up in 17 days in Chicago. Trent Williams.
And a leader. I think it's one thing to be a dominant player. It's another to take some of the young players like Spencer Burford under his wing, Jason Poe, and try to help them grow and try to make this roster. It's kind of a next level of what you see from great leaders up front.
On a 3rd and 1 through the middle, breaking a tackle. That is Sermon. Nice bit of running right there to the 41 and a first down for San Francisco.
And Jake Brendel, nice push here. See the right guard get in here as well. Nice push by both of them. Burford, both these guys expected to start. So there's some guys up front that are going to be playing when they open up. And there's some backups that are up there that, especially that left tackle, Jalen Moore, struggling a bit against the speed rush. But inside there, they got a nice push.
Need a new center, of course. Alex Mack, after a stellar 13-year career, retired. To the outside, Sherman again, behind the tight end.
You know, Al, one issue if you're a San Francisco fan is all this talk about Trey Lance. You lose Alex Mack, right? Laken Tomlinson is gone. He's now with the Jets. That's your left guard from a year ago. The right guard is now a backup center. So your 3 interior positions with a new quarterback have got to come up with some new faces and some new answers. And that's what this camp has really been about, trying to solidify the interior.
2nd and 7. Don't have to tell you how important a left tackle is unless you've got a left-handed quarterback. Play fake. Stepping away. Lance and gets hit as he throws, and the pass is incomplete. That was Jerry Hughes who got in there. Speaking of left tackles, how about Tyron Smith? What a tough break for the Dallas Cowboys.
Hate to see that. Hate to see that. Oh, keep in mind now, Jerry Hughes came over, and this guy is 34 years old in his 13th year. And again, there's Jalen Moore again, 76, having a rough outing. This time he goes inside, and then he's relentless with not giving up on the play to eventually get his hand there on the arm of Trey Lance as he's throwing the ball. Great play by 55. They got a boatload of defensive ends. They're going to have some tough decisions next Tuesday to find out who's going to make this team.
Yeah, Hughes came out of college, first-round pick out of TCU by Indianapolis back in 2010. Niners take a timeout here before what will be a 3rd down and 8. So Kyle Shanahan, you know, he can't love this building too much because he was here, of course, in the Super Bowl in 2016. He might be thinking about a challenge here, possibly discussing things with the official. Terry, what do you think?
I think it's too close to reverse. You know, is the hand moving forward with control? It is so tight. This is one of those, I just don't think it's clear and obvious either way. I would not challenge if I were him. It's not going to win.
And he won't. But he took the timeout. So it's 3rd down and 7. From the 40. Pass thrown, but well short of the first down as they've been working with Sherman on the ground and through the air. But I'm mentioning Shanahan in this building. Of course, all he has to think about is the numbers 28 and 3 when he's with Atlanta as the offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Against New England.
Did you call that game that night?
I did not.
Did
no,
not.
Sir.
But we all watched. How about Hughes? He didn't rush into quarterback this time. A little change up, little zone pressure, shows that he's coming, backs out, and then he shows the athletic ability against Sermon in space.
So 4th and 2, they'll go for it. Bunch of receivers to the right and hand the ball off, and there's nothing to the right side, and there's nothing to the left side either for Sherman as they stop him. Petrie coming up to break up the play. So the Texans hold on a 4th down. They get it back early in the 2nd quarter. Houston 7 and San Francisco nothing.
Well, Kurt Hinish is a rookie out of Notre Dame, and he's already had a sack. This is 4th and short, right over the left shoulder of the center. Look at him disrupt this play. Charlie Werner, the tight end's trying to come over to make a block, but because of that penetration, that leads to the other rookie, Jalen Petrie, eventually chasing down the ball carrier. But really good defense. This is a defense that struggled to defend the run a year ago. They got some new faces now, playing with some desire and some hunger, flying around to that football.
And again, we talked about the hallmark of every Lovie Smith team. Defense takeaways are big.
Yeah.
Even though they had a bad year last year, they had a lot of takeaways. But he'd love that Peanut Tillman, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would love that. Those are some glory years for Lovie and with some of those teams. But that's the goal again this year, be opportunistic.
Mills now. Fake to Burkhead. Under pressure. Caught from behind. Taken down. The ball came out. Jordan Willis busted up the play. They retained possession, and we go to Kaylee.
Hey, Al, I'm here with with Richard Sherman, who's had some memorable moments with the media over his career. But hey, welcome to the dark side as part of our TNF Tonight crew. How's this transition going?
I'm feeling like Darth Vader. You know, I'm feeling good. It's been enjoyable. We got a great team. I'm enjoying the space. I'm enjoying watching my boys play. Couldn't wish for any better.
I mean, you were on a 49ers team that Jimmy Garoppolo took to the Super Bowl. What do you think his future looks like?
I think he's going to play football at a high level for some organization. I don't think it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, they've moved forward with Trey Lance, and it's just an awkward situation. But people are like, why is he so quiet? It's because he's such a great teammate. You know, that's the kind of guy he is. He's not a guy who's going to ruffle feathers. He's going to be me first guy. It's always team first. He's going to handle his business behind the scenes and do what's necessary, even if it's to his own detriment at times. And that's why you're excited and you're rooting for the guy to land on his feet, and I know he will.
And corner to corner, I know we haven't seen a ton out of Derek Stingley yet, but we're talking about the number 3 pick in the draft. What impresses you about him, and what have you seen?
Well, he has all the ability in the world. He has the speed, he has the instincts, he has everything you look for in a lockdown corner in this league. He just needs the reps. You know, he has only played 10 games in the last 2 years. He was an All-American his freshman year, so you just want more reps and more reps and more reps. That's what the team's looking for him, and he's done well with them.
Now, I mean, we are talking about a preseason that is elongated in a way for these guys. The weeks are shortened, though, and it's tough. Like, when you think back on the preseason, what's your best advice to these guys on the field tonight and how they can make the best of it?
It was KISS. It was KISS. That was it. That was the thing they told us. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, keep it as simple as you can. Know your assignment. Know your job. Do your job at a high level. Try not, as a vet, you don't bring out any of your tricks. You don't do any of the extra stuff. You just try to keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep off the ground. You don't want to get injured in preseason.
Hey, thanks, Richard. We appreciate it. We're having a blast with this TNF Tonight crew. We'll talk to more of you later. Al?
All right, thank you, Kaylee. And there's a flag on the run back. In fact, 2, in fact. Might be a late hit out of bounds here as they discuss it. Do you think some team will come after Richard this year?
I wouldn't doubt it. He's still in great shape. What a great attitude. I had a lot of fun getting to know him and hang out with him these last few weeks. They got a great crew there, their pregame show, doing a nice job.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 38. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. Correction, 10 yards from the end of the run. It's first down. Timeout.
On Lenore. 7-0 Houston, downtown Houston on this Thursday night. Been talking a lot about that man. 3rd overall pick in the draft, Derek Stingley Jr., coming off that Lisfranc injury. And of course, you talk about the lineage. His grandfather, of course, suffered that terrible injury in a preseason game in Oakland. Darryl, back in '78, his father played in the Arena League for 9 years. Life, 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it, he says. And there he is, the number 3 pick overall, and a guy that they're counting on, along with Petrie and some of their other additions, to revamp what was a pretty bad Texan defense last year. And there's Pop.
They're excited to see him get a chance to play. Played, of course, last week and against the Rams. But I tell you, I watched him play that freshman year in 2019 when LSU went on to win the national title with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson and company. Nobody talked about him as much as they should have, but he was the top corner, arguably, in college football as a true freshman the year the Tigers won it all.
Trey Lance is done. So you've got Nate Sudfeld taking over. He's kind of in a battle right now for number 2. Sherman to the outside. Been running fairly well tonight. Gain of about 4. Go back to Stingley's freshman year, and they're basing that draft pick on pretty much those numbers.
Yeah, because the last 2 years, you know, he had the injury, and he also kind of shut it down his sophomore year during COVID. You can see how just an outstanding player that 2019 year. And he came in, and think about the practice reps that he got. Think about he's going against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson as a true freshman. By the time he got to Saturday, it was a layup.
2nd down and 6. Sermon, a little spin around it, and no help right there. Swallowed it up for a loss. Heinisch is They're amongst his friends. 3rd down and 10 after a loss.
How about the rookie again from Notre Dame, Heinisch? This is an undrafted free agent who keeps shooting these gaps and giving this offensive line fits. You know, just disrupt the play. I mean, the entire defensive line across the board just winning, and it allows Petrie and these backers to be able to clean it up, set the edge, know where to go, and bring him down. Great defense.
So 3rd down, 10 from their own 8. 8 minutes to go in the opening half. Sudfeld gets it away. And can he get the 1st down? Yep, up to the 21-yard line. Tyler Croft, the tight end. So they needed 10. He got 13. 1st down, 49ers.
He's in line there and almost a check down. You didn't think that he had the ability maybe to break that tackle, but he just wouldn't give up on the play. Carries Desmond King. He's got about 6 yards to go. Desmond King, a veteran, unable to bring him down. So Sudfeld looks downfield, checks it down, and then the big tight end does the rest of the work.
Sudfeld. Play action. Staying in bounds, Ray McLeod, not only a return man, but they want to use him as a wide receiver from time to time, and that's a 1st down.
And Ray McLeod is a threat, you know, to make this roster because of his ability to return punts. There's Trey Lance's night, kind of a quiet night. And he'll be done with preseason football and get ready for the real thing.
In Chicago at Soldier Field in 17 days. Home opener a week later against Seattle. Pass is intercepted at the 35-yard line. That's Desmond King. And King gets tackled at the 20. Sudfeld trying to thread it. No opening at all, and King is right there to pick it.
Desmond King, a veteran. Remember, he got beat on that play where he couldn't bring down the big tight end earlier. This time he just kind of baits him into making this throw. Sitting back in zone, reads the eyes, and then just jumps the ball. Sudfeld, I don't know if he anticipated King sitting outside, but King knew exactly where he was going to go with the ball, sat to the outside, and then moved in and stepped in front of it for an interception for the Texans.
Last year when the Texans played San Francisco, King intercepted Lance. Now he takes care of Sudfeld here. And with his short field already in the red zone inside the 20, Rex Burkhead gets to the 16, 2nd down.
You know, for an offensive line that was questioned by many, how in the world, as fans and media saying, how in the world is this team going to be able to run the ball when these first 2 games, these preseason games, they can't get a push? Well, they've made up for it tonight. So far in this game, no matter who's in that backfield, they've got room to operate.
59, the guard, Kenyon Green, one of their 1st-round picks last year. They had 2, but nothing happening right there. Of course, the minute you talk about the offensive line, you know, the guy gets stuffed.
Yeah.
It's called the kibosh, by the way. Welcome to the world of kibosh.
Yeah, of course. Now, what happens is when you're running the ball like that, these safeties and backers start flying down. That's when Pep Hamilton, as a play caller, he's going to try to be one step ahead of that by showing play action on early downs, pulling it. You get some one-on-one matchups here with the receivers like a Nico Collins or a tight end with Brevin Jordan that can win that matchup.
Mills on a 3rd and 7. To the end zone, fighting for it, and then it is picked off in the end zone. So there was a fight for it, a juggle, and then an interception.
Yeah, but ball got tipped back into play. You had 2 players fighting for it. Tavarius Moore.
He's the guy with it.
Yeah, he's the guy that ends up making the interception. But Moore was fighting for it. It looked like with the rookie, Samuel Womack. And I'm with you. I thought the ball was going, the battle was between those 2, but it goes up into the air. Watch this ball bounce right back to 33. He said, "Yes, sir, I'll take it."
One more can't get it. The other one does.
We talked earlier about Samuel Womack, the rookie out of Toledo, has been the talk of the 49ers camp. Played him on the outside earlier in game, a new position for him, playing outside based on the camp. There's a pass interference call against Nico Collins. Now he goes back to where he's probably going to be a starter this year, back to that nickel spot, and look at the difference. Look how comfortable he is in coverage, is able to get his head turned, gets that right arm up and knocks the ball back to Tavarius Moore to be able to make that interception. There's D'Amico Ryan saying that's why we drafted him, and that's why we're believing in him right now.
5th round pick out of Toledo, had 2 interceptions against Green Bay in their opening preseason game and a fumble recovery in the last one against Minnesota. And that's a nice gain, and that's Jordan Mason, who's making a little bit of a splash in training camp as well. Picking up about 7 yards, a rookie out of Georgia Tech, a free agent.
Yeah, and again, we get past Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson. You got Ty Davis-Price, and then the battle is there with Trey Sermon. And Al, you said it, Jordan Mason has caught the eye of these offensive coaches. And, you know, everybody else might be thinking, it's preseason. Final cuts are Tuesday. These backs are playing for a spot tonight.
Of course, they haven't shown one guy who's going to play a big role in the backfield this season, a guy named Deebo Samuel.
Right.
Listed, of course, as a wide receiver. Nice little run here for a first down on a gain of 4 out to the 32 and a penalty.
Holding. Offense number 74. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Spencer Burford, their 4th round pick out of Texas San Antonio.
Burford on another rookie, Thomas Booker. See the right guard, 74. He locks up, gets his arms on the outside, then grabs a hold of that jersey. Called by the official there. Remember, he's still trying to make adjustments. He's a guy that played tackle in college and is looked upon to be a starter this year as a rookie, but he's got to learn how to play that guard spot.
2nd and 12. Sudfeld throws, and that's dropped. Mason couldn't handle that. 3rd and 12. We talked about Sudfeld playing. He and Brock Purdy, who was the last guy picked in the draft, we'll see him probably in the second half. What they call Mr. Irrelevant, kind of battling, and then the Garoppolo thing is just hanging out there right now.
Yeah,
very weird situation.
Really weird. Really, I mean, Garoppolo's situation is weird when he's over at the facility doing his own thing.
Right.
In the weight room, out on the field while the team's practicing, he's in the corner throwing on his own. Sounds like he's healthy though, which is great.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
But no takers so far. 3rd and 12. And that's going to be caught for a 10-yard gain, a little bit shy, as Croft hauls it in there. And that will set up a 4th down and 2 with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Now he has the time to throw, but everything's taken away again downfield. Lovie Smith and this defense, obviously on 3rd and long, saying, hey, listen, let's just keep everything in front and rally to that football and make tackles with his secondary. Give him nothing downfield, no options downfield at all.
Wisnowski with his 3rd punt of the night. Good deep kick, 10-yard line. Desmond King, who had the interception on the last series, up to the 16-yard line. I tell you what, that Damian Pierce, when you looked at him before, I keep thinking back that, it's so funny because he's one of the talks of training camp. Everybody's saying, wow.
Yeah,
got to watch this, but it's in a way sometimes guys get talked up too much.
Yeah,
in training. I keep thinking of the great horse trainer Wayne Lucas. Wayne, Hall of Famer, he could talk you into betting on Mr. Ed in the Kentucky Derby. He could do that.
Guilty as charged.
That's you, right?
Yeah, he's got me. Yeah, I could relate to that.
Yeah, but Pierce looks like the real deal.
He does.
Burkhead, let's go to Kaylee.
Well, Al, many people feel he's the top linebacker in the league. Fred Warner here with me now. We saw D'Amico Ryan's face after that interception play. What was your reaction?
Man, anytime we get interception, anything, big play, I'm sprinting down there. I'm acting a fool. I'm right there with my guys. Can't wait to get out there and be a part of it again. Just eager to get back to it.
Yeah, when we're not seeing your starters out here 17 days from that first game, tell us, what are you seeing from this defense?
I think every day just getting better. That's our goal. Every single day is to come out, impose our will, dominate the day, just get a little bit better every day.
Get a little bit better every day. Now, what pride do you take in being the leader of this defense that is being held in such high regard and that seems to just keep getting richer in the offseason?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in it. You know, I'm really proud of the way these guys work every single day. It's a great group to be a part of, especially for me. They make my job easy to go out there and just compete and really, you know, just play the game how it's supposed to be played. And it's with a lot of energy, a lot of fun, a lot of physicality. Uh-oh. Hopefully no physicality over here right now, but.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Al, we've got to go. Thank you so much for your time, Fred. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, stay safe down there. Tackle is made right there. Burkhead picking up the first down. 2 minutes to the half. 7-0 Texans in Houston. Halftime TNF show coming up your way. Carissa Thompson at the helm. Ryan Fitzpatrick will grade Trey Lance's first half. Tony Gonzalez will talk about the Texans running back Damian Pierce. Richard Sherman also down there, the preview of the Chargers-Chiefs game on September 15th. Coming up at halftime. Rex Burkhead, heavy load here. You know, there's with Pierce getting the job and Marlon Mack is there, and you know it's not that Burkhead necessarily is on the bubble here,
right?
But you know he needs a decent performance.
Yeah, 10th year out of Nebraska, and really the third down guy. That's what he's known for. Last year with injuries, he had to play a lot more and carry the football. But you know, I think he is still a tough matchup. You get to those 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, get him matched up against a linebacker. So I think that will be his role this year. But there's some good backs. We haven't seen Royce Freeman tonight, but eventually we will. So they're going to have to, again, another team that will have some tough decisions to make.
Burkhead with 9 carries. And again, up to the 38, very close to a first down. He goes. He led this team in rushing last season. Of course, I don't know what that necessarily means on a team that's dead last in rushing.
Well, and we've talked about how they've reshuffled this offensive line. Lovie Smith's excited to get Laramie Tunsil back when the season starts, and Kenyon Green tonight, the rookie from Texas A&M. He's had some injuries, had a concussion. He's actually out there for the first time, 59. So it's good for the Texans fans to take a look at their first-round draft pick, the left guard.
Shanahan takes a timeout here. And we'll see what the Texans want to do on a 4th down and inches. And the signal goes out for the punt group.
I mean, you put he and Tunsil on the left side of that offensive line. They've developed some chemistry, and Tunsil, being a veteran, can help Green, the rookie, out. Really known as a mauler in the run game.
Cameron Johnston will send it down toward the veteran Willie Snead. Been around for a number of seasons, and the ball will bounce out of bounds up at the 15-yard line. Coming up next month, the journey begins. Don't miss the new series, The Lord of the Rings of Power, arriving September the 2nd, only on Prime Video.
Now, these are great opportunities. 57 seconds left, no matter who's in their quarterback. And now you're going to see Brock Purdy, the young man out of Iowa State, Mr. Relevant that you talked about. This is good repetitions and really good situational football for a young quarterback to see if he can try to move the ball and work the field, try to get into field goal range.
Over 12,000 yards at Iowa State. San Fran, 1 timeout. Running back here is Jermichael Hasty. Drive beginning from the 15-yard line. Hangs in the pocket, fires into traffic, and threads it up to the 40-yard line. Jawan Jennings making a nice grab on a play that carries 26 yards on the first down.
And there's that Tampa 2 defense. Not quite back far enough. That middle linebacker, he's able to squeeze that in there.
49ers couldn't get set. False start here, costing him 5.
How about Brock Purdy? Been over there on the bench the whole game. Comes out and throws an absolute dart between those 2 safeties. That was impressive.
This is either a 10-second runoff at this point or a timeout. If Shanahan wants to use it, it would be his last.
False start. Offense, number 76. It's a 5-yard penalty and still first down. This foul requires a 10-second runoff on the clock. Please reset the game clock to 46 seconds, and now back to 36. The clock will start on my signal.
Yeah, a rule they put in, and it's a good one a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah. 40 to 30. Thank you.
That runoff.
Yep.
Otherwise, you could fool around with those false starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 seconds. 3-0. Thank you.
Reset the clock at exactly 30.
But what a throw here for him, right? Gives him a chance here to at least try to get into field goal range.
And what do we have here?
Well, that whistle, really loud whistle when the linemen are already sitting down there. It's like a little bit of movement. Like the center got shocked by the whistle. He kind of pulled back a little bit.
66. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
You got it. Keaton Sutherland.
Watch him. Watch him. The whistle blew, and he's waiting for that hard count. Instead, it was a whistle. Well, after that big pass, they're going backwards. 10 seconds run off.
Now it's a 1st and 20 with 30 seconds. That should have been another 10 seconds. And
yeah.
Hockley's making another announcement here, or did.
And Kyle took his last time out, I believe, to be able to avoid that 10-second runoff. That's why he's going over to talk to him to make sure they're on the same page.
Right. All right, he takes the timeout. So now you've got 29 seconds.
Out of timeouts now.
Yep. 1st and 20. Plenty of time. And picked off at the 40-yard line. But they're going to call it incomplete. Yadam had it for the moment. Ball touched the ground. Call is incomplete.
Well, he squeezed one in between the two safeties, and this time gets a little bit greedy and gets away with it. I thought it was picked, but the ball came down and hit the surface. Yadam does a heck of a job here getting back as a flat defender. He sinks back.
Yep.
And then the ball hit. Yeah.
Ball's out. Incomplete.
Great effort there to be back in position to come up with that, and then just needs to finish it. Can't get his hands underneath it.
Nope. Try to scoop it, make it look good. Called incomplete. That took 4 seconds and makes it 2nd down and 20. Texans a long drive early in the 1st quarter, and that's all the scoring so far. To the outside goes the pass to the 40-yard line, but Jennings gets tackled in bounds by Green. It'll be 3rd down, and the clock will keep on moving, and the 49ers will probably, the way it looks right now, just head to the locker room. So Mills 4 of 8 for 37 yards. Lance was 7 of 11 for 49 yards, the 2 starting quarterbacks. And we go to the break with a score 7-0. Coming up after the break, it's the TNF halftime show. NRG Stadium, where the hometown Texans are taking the field, ready to face Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. Dameon Pierce breaking tackles, puts his head down, touchdown.
That was textbook on that drive.
And he's going to get sacked as he drops back.
Great play.
Halftime, one long scoring drive for the Texans early in the 1st quarter. They lead 7-0 as the Texans and 49ers wrap up their preseason schedules tonight here in Houston. Now, over the course of the preseason, there are the numbers for Lance and for Mills. Lance, of course, will be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. preordained during maybe May or June, and he'll start in Chicago, and then Davis Mills will start on opening day here in the stadium against the Indianapolis Colts. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit with you. And what did you see in the first half from these two guys?
Well, I think we saw the most important number there is attempts, reps, just getting out here and having a chance. Forget the passer rating or the touchdown to interception ratio. It's about both these young guys getting a chance to see another defense besides who they see in practice and just try to settle down before they get going week one.
Desmond King, of course, if there was a star in the first half, it's the running back Dameon Pierce out of Florida.
Yeah, the offensive line deserves an assist here. Did a really good job of controlling things. And as we saw against the Saints in their opening preseason game, this guy is sudden, runs with an attitude, had enough room to be able to get to that second level and lower his shoulder and pick up some very positive yards when he was out there.
Well, he's in all likelihood done for the night. Marlon Mack, who they picked up from Indianapolis in the offseason, will start at running back. And it's kind of interesting in a way. Mills was going to play the first half, but I think Lovie Smith and Pep Hamilton want to see a little bit more, and he starts the second half. So Mills, the second-year man out of Stanford, with that short drop to the outside. He throws. Nice throw. Catch made by Conley in a very short gain there.
You know, you might say why. You know, what's the point? The point is, again, you got a young quarterback who's still trying to get comfortable, get him in rhythm. I love this throw right here. Real quick step, three-step, no hitch, ball's out in rhythm, ball's out in front of his receiver Conley, where he can make a catch and do something with it potentially after.
2nd down and 5. This is the former Colt, Mack. You know, so they draft Mills. You had the Deshaun Watson mess, of course. And then last year starts, it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. He gets hurt. So Mills gets a lot of action in. But is he, do you think, is he the quarterback for the future? When I say the future, I mean the next 5 or 6 years. They have a ton of draft choices coming up too.
Yeah, I think that'll obviously depend on how this year goes. But I'll tell you, the system that they've implemented is very different than last year. The system that they've implemented fits him perfectly. They obviously are going to have to be able to run the ball. But if he and Pep Hamilton get things going, I think he definitely could be a guy that could be the future of this franchise.
Going deep on 3rd and 3, and that pass is incomplete, but a flag is thrown because the defender on that play, Tariq Castro Fields, never turned his head around.
And pass interference. Defense number 36. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Pep Hamilton told us this week he's instructed his quarterbacks never overthrow Nico Collins because he's not a Blazer, but he's got great size and he has great ball skills. So if anything, if you're going to miss it, make him come back to the ball. Now this works out great because, as you said, the corner does not do a very good job, Castro Fields, of getting his head turned around, so it's an easy PI. But there's a quarterback that follows instructions. He's not going to overthrow him.
26-yard penalty. Here's Mack showing some of that old speed from a couple of years ago in Indianapolis to the 18-yard line. So this guy trying to win a spot on the roster as a free agent. Had 2 years back-to-back in which he gained almost 2,000 yards composite, 25-yard gain.
Yeah, and then left guard Kenyon Green, the rookie, leading him through the way. Nice double team here where he comes down and then he works up to the linebacker, seals that off, and then gets the backer there. And Marlon Mack saying, hey, guys up there, don't forget about me. You talked about his injury. He's kind of been off the grid for a couple years because of that injury, and Jonathan Taylor emerging in Indy. So he's fighting to show what he can do, too.
That made him expendable. There was a block here, but pressure came from the other side. Drake Jackson, who is their top draft pick. They didn't have a first rounder, so they picked him in the 2nd out of USC.
And they may have got him for, he hit the quarterback pretty good there.
Defense number 95. The penalties half the distance to goal and an automatic 1st down.
We saw some of the Niners DNs letting him get outside. He's been watching on the sideline. He said, one thing, I'm ready for this. He comes outside, I'm going to hit. Well, that's obvious. He might get away with that in college, but in the NFL as a rookie, he's got to learn he cannot do that.
Oh, Terry McAuley from 1,500 miles away is saying, no, wait a second. Terry, you think that was fairly clean, right?
it doesn't look like he got him in the head and neck area. It looked like it was a shoulder to the chest from our angles.
1st and goal. Swinging to the outside, and this is Jeff Driscoll who's come in now. He's trying to win the backup quarterback job. Kyle Allen is the other, and it's 2nd down and goal. So he came in, and now Mills comes back into the game.
Yeah, he's reading Jordan Willis there, the edge man. And when he came down, that's old school college football's zone read. He's reading this man right here, and he comes down, takes the back. This is Driscoll going back to being a Gator and just pulling it and getting to the outside. That's the wrinkle that he can bring to this offense that Mills and Allen can't bring.
Throw him in for one play. 2nd down and goal. Mack probing to the 5-yard line. 3rd and goal, 3 minutes into the 3rd.
Well, you talked about Mills coming back for another series, but you look across the board up front, and you're still seeing the same group. Can's up there, Howard's up there, Quesenberry, who is in for Britt tonight at center, Kenyon Green in at left guard now. We've talked about him. So a lot of the first group that played from the very outset of this game, they're with Mills still playing.
Caught. Touchdown. Nico Collins, but another flag is thrown. 2, in fact, inside the 5-yard line. And this is going to go against the offense. So it's a very short-lived celebration.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
That's on Moore.
Yeah. Moore just has to sell this a little bit more. It's a rub route, but he runs right in the defender, and because he doesn't make it look, you got to sell that you're running a route. You can't just run into a defender like this. And that's what they called an illegal pick there.
I was going to say to you, what's the difference between a rub and a pick?
Well, it depends on if you're talking to an offensive guy or a defensive guy, right?
3rd down and goal.
He's just got to sell that a little bit more that he's running his route.
Rub just sounds less insidious, I think.
Yeah.
3rd down and goal. Fired over the middle. That's caught. And once again, at least for the moment, a touchdown. This time to Moore. So Moore atoning for the penalty. Gets it in. 16 yards out.
San Fran put their safeties back here and back here. He attacks the middle of the defense right over top of the middle linebacker there. And what a throw. And that's right on time, which is really the only chance you have to squeeze this in there over the backer between the safety. It's got to be thrown on a rope. Made a quick decision and got it out in a hurry. Scores a touchdown.
Matt Amendola rented for the night. Boots it through. The Texans might feel a little bit better about Davis Mills to the end zone. And it's 14-0. Next week, the journey begins. Don't miss the new series, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, arriving September the 2nd, only on Prime Video. I guess it's a little over a week, but you get the point, right?
All over it. Well, Davis Mills, watch his head look left, move the safety just slightly, and then come back to the right. Perfect throw in rhythm. And there's nothing a defense can do to a throw like that with the quarterback's in rhythm with his receiver. He's had a good night. This is a great way for him and this offense to finish off the first unit, to be able to finish things off and get ready for their opening game.
Only threw 10 passes, completed 6 for 58, a touchdown and an interception. This is Marcus Johnson. Touchback comes out to the 25, and for San Francisco, we're going to see Brock Purdy coming back in here to start the 3rd quarter.
You know, these quarterbacks, you would think that Nate Sudfeld, with the $2 million that he received back in March, it would just be almost a foregone conclusion that he would be the backup, assuming Jimmy Garoppolo eventually doesn't come into play. But Purdy has pushed pushed Sudfeld as a rookie. Done a heck of a job. Let's see what he does here with this series.
Running back is Mason. Look out. That didn't fool anybody. 7-yard loss right there. Derek Rivers having a very nice preseason. 6-year guy. A couple of sacks in preseason. Read that one perfectly.
Yeah, he's been known as a pass rusher, but here he's showing you he's got some versatility and being able to get upfield. Not surprised at all. Boy, he's right there, right in the face there of Mason. Nothing he can do.
2nd and 16. Trying to set up a screen. And they do with great effectiveness. And running for a first down, but a flag. That was Jordan Mason. That's Sean Hockley's crew. Fairly busy tonight. In fact, too busy. For
I think it's too
What are we
busy.
talking about? Go on.
Like the receiver there, the rookie Danny Gray, 86. Just a stalk block and then grabs onto the jersey.
Pass interference. Offense number 86. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Yeah, that's Danny Gray. We haven't seen him exhibit his skills. He's as fast as they get.
How about the pass interference call over the potential holding? That means he was grabbing a hold of him well before the ball was caught.
In either case, it goes back to the 9 to make it 2nd down and 26.
Yeah, Gray is a 4-3 guy. He can really fly, as he said.
Another screen set up here. This is Hasty. And he gets out to the 23-yard line. Gain of 13, making it 3rd and 13 now. Talking about Hasty, we were talking about in a commercial break, the two of us, about the running back situation. They might be able to carry one less than you might want to because Deebo Samuel is going to line up there a lot.
Yeah, of course, he became the story of the NFL last year. After their first 8 games, the 49ers sitting there at 3-5 in the second half of the season, he obviously gets into that backfield and becomes such a threat.
3rd and 12, and wide open and making the catch. Right over the middle is Ross Dwelly. So we're always talking about Kittle, but Dwelly has made some great plays over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and he's just going to get downfield here vertically. It's really about beating this middle linebacker in a Tampa 2 coverage. He's got to get back vertically. He knows it's coming. Ball goes right over top of his head, and because those 2 safeties were emerging on top of Dwelly, he knows he's got to catch the ball and protect himself to be able to hold on to it.
28-yard gain. A little confusion in the backfield and no gain there. Poor Hasty stopped at the line of scrimmage with 9 minutes to go in the 3rd.
It's the second time we've seen Brock Purdy throw that ball downfield. This is George Kittle, who was dressed early and is now just there as almost a coach trying to help guys out. I'm sure he's proud of that effort right there. Great job of not only the route, but holding on to the ball.
Purdy 4 out of 5 for 77 yards. Takes off. Everybody covered to the 42-yard line.
And see, he brings that element. I don't. Sudfeld's not going to bring that. Sudfeld has to be able to just be a distributor, and that's what Brock Purdy can do. We saw that in his 4 years of starting at Iowa State, and things aren't there. They're covered downfield. Instead of throwing it away or checking it down, he can pick up some positive yards, and all of a sudden, instead of 3rd and 10, it's 3rd and 7, gives you a chance.
3rd down and 7. And that's incomplete. Try to jam it in there to Malik Turner to make it 4th down.
Good coverage. I don't know if he got a hand in there or if Turner maybe just drops his ball. But you mentioned how he tried to squeeze it in there. Let's see if he gets it in there. Yeah, he got it in there. I don't think that was just a drop. Ball's thrown very accurately through his hands.
Wisnowski now to try to pin them deep. And it will bounce inside the 5. And is it stopped before it gets into the end zone? It is not. Out to the 20, it will come. Texans with the ball and a 2-touchdown lead. Davis Mills' next action will be in 17 days against Indianapolis. Here, he grew up in Atlanta, wound up going to Stanford, was a Falcons fan, and liked Matt Ryan a lot, and he gets to face Matt Ryan on opening day.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. He also mentioned his dad was a Detroit Lions fan, so he followed them a little bit.
Kyle Allen's now the quarterback. Marlon Mack, no gain there. We go to Kaylee.
Well, Al, I've lost track of how many different teams Ryan Fitzpatrick played for in the NFL over his 17 years. I kid. But we are your new team right here, TNF Tonight. Ryan, you're good at making friends fast. What has been the key to building camaraderie for this crew?
You know, this job is all about chemistry, just like it was in all the other teams I played for, but the simple things like having meals together, asking about family, having dinners, maybe having drinks afterwards. You get to know somebody a lot, usually after about 9 p.m.
It happens that way sometimes, doesn't it? Especially with this crowd. Now, these guys upstairs have talked about this risk that the 49ers are taking, giving the reins of this offense to Trey Lance. What would you tell Trey is most important for him to keep in mind to get this team where it's capable of being?
Well, I think the first thing, he's here for a reason. He was the 3rd pick in the draft for a reason. Now, he's been placed in a situation. You've got a great defense. You've got a great running game. You've got a coordinator that is going to do the right things and put you in the right positions. Be yourself. Learn from the Kittles and learn from the veterans on the team that are going to help you out. And you're going to be just fine.
And it looks like the Texans are just fine out there right now. Green making a play there. You have been known for your wardrobe choices that have always stood out, but man, I gotta ask about the hair.
I've got people doing my hair. I'm wearing zippers. Hey, this is just a public service announcement for anybody out there with chest hair. The zipper is not good because it's been tangled. It's like having to rip off a Band-Aid every time I go up and down, but hopefully we add some flair as the season goes on.
I think we can count on you to add the flair. Appreciate it, Ryan. Al.
Yeah, we've got to spend a lot of time with Ryan after 9 p.m. That guy is great. Here's Mac. So Fitzpatrick, he's played with the Rams, the Bengals, the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, the Jets, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, and the Washington football team. So in all the years that Fred Cadelli and I have been doing Monday night and Sunday night, we never had him, in a regular season game.
Oh, my
Had him in a couple of mop-up roles in preseason.
All those years and all those teams, you couldn't stumble in to one of his games.
No, on those packages, you know, you get the creme de la creme.
There you
go.
go.
Ryan's playing with every other team in the league. Here goes Mac. But here he was.
You dug one up?
Well, this is the Rams against the Lions. It's the day that Katrina hit New Orleans, and we're in Detroit. And he came in relief of, I think, Mark Bolger and Jamie Martin.
Here you got him in 09.
Then we got him in 09 as well in Canton.
Hall of Fame game.
Right.
Now he's on our team.
He's on our team.
He said.
He can't miss, I'm telling you. What a character. Nice drive here and a good run here. Subin Moali picks up a first down to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, a nice run, but look who's out in front here. That's Royce Freeman.
Yep.
He's a running back. And Pep Hamilton said they were kind of experimenting with this idea. And, you know, a guy that's fighting for a roster spot, it's a great way to do it. It shows some versatility and willingness to be a guy that's going to block as a fullback.
Right, he's 6 feet.
Yeah.
240 pounds.
Good
so
size. And he's a threat when he gets his hands on the ball.
Right. Moali again stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Under 4 minutes now to play in the third. Texans They're trying to finish the preseason unbeaten. Each of these teams came in 2-0 for what that's worth.
Right. And again, any analysis or any thoughts you get from this game, the important thing is, it's if you're the Texans, who were 4-13 a year ago and 4-12 the year before that, new head coach, new GM, new quarterback, anything positive, I don't care when it happens, is good news.
That's not good news.
That's
right
not
there.
No.
Charles Omenihu is there. They play dead upon inception.
Right. The rookie left tackle, Deculus, just doesn't keep his feet moving. He's on the left side, 76 right here. He kicks out and watch his feet just kind of lock up. And in the NFL, he played in the SEC, understands speed, but he just kind of stops moving his feet and allows him to. Omenihu is able to get around him with that suddenness and the quickness, using those hands and feet.
So on a 3rd and 19 against the 4-man rush, they swing it to the outside. Nice move to the inside, and a good gain to the 27 to set up a field goal attempt by Ogunbowale, 4th-year man out of Wisconsin. The last 2 seasons for him as a Jaguar.
It's a good job on not giving up on that play. That looked like he was going to be down at about the 35, and instead he picks up some more yards, and now he gives them a chance here with a 45-yarder.
Yeah, Matt Amendola mentioned Kami Fairbairn with a minor injury, so at least this kid, who did not have a good year with the Jets last year, maybe can open up some eyes here. Pretty good night for him. Why not? Bangs it through from 45 to make it 17-0. Houston. The future of football is here. The NFL celebrates youth and high school football year-round. Boys and girls leagues are starting all the time. To get in on the action, visit playfootball.com. Find a league near you. The Texans invited the girls flag football team from Legacy, the School of Sports Sciences, to last week's games, and the 49ers prep flag football team offered a fun and safe introduction to football for more than 3,000 Bay Area kids this summer. 17-0. Amendola kicks off from the 1-yard line. The run back, Marcus Johnson, up to the 20-yard line.
Purdy got his chance, and now Sudfeld will come back out.
Well, Nate's been around a while. At one point, I know the Eagles were really high in him. Been around for 6 years. Of course, he was the guy that Doug Peterson put into the game on the last game of the season, which we did.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago,
yeah.
Right? And the Giants are sitting there going, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
Taking Jalen Hurts out of the game.
Yeah.
They put Washington in the playoffs, and Doug was gone.
Yeah. Doug was gone, and now in Jacksonville.
Yes, he is. From the 20-yard line, 49ers begin this drive. Sudfeld. And that's broken up and incomplete up to the 40-yard line, intended for Danny Gray. Now, we've talked a lot about Garoppolo, but I mean, this is, and it's not to beat a dead horse here, but we've talked about this story. It's going to be a story down the line here.
Going to be a huge story beginning September 11th, which is the deadline, and when they need to make a decision. I don't know how you feel watching this, and Nate Sudfeld, you've seen him play a lot. He's been around. He's kind of a journeyman. Brock Purdy's another rookie, another young quarterback. This is a team that's built for the Super Bowl. Their defense is as good as there is in the NFL. This offense is going to be able to run the ball and scheme people up. And if Trey Lance hits, it's great. It's easy. But wouldn't it be nice to have an insurance policy?
No question.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have potentially, if you can restructure Jimmy's deal, obviously the money that they're talking about right now that he would be potentially owed is not what they're willing to do. But would he be willing to take an incentive-laden contract for less money and become that insurance policy?
Well, even the owner, Jed York, in an interview last week talked about the fact, hey, listen, it's the NFL. you need a good backup quarterback. How many teams' seasons have gone down the toilet when they didn't have a backup guy?
100%.
3rd down and 5. To the outside goes the pass, and it is caught and hanging in bounds there. That's Ross Dwelley. Nice catch. They check it out with the marker to see whether it's a first down or not, and they mark it just a little bit short.
Dwelley's doing a good job today, man. I mean, he had that great catch, took the big hit. Here he's not only make this catch, but the awareness to know where that sticks. Look at that. Look at that effort to extend. Trying to work to get every yard he can get.
Well, it's 4th down and 1, Niners. What do you have to lose in preseason except the ball?
What do you have to lose?
Right. I mean, what's it worth? A preseason win is what, a Dogecoin? that thing's still around. And the Texans will take over on downs with half a minute to go in the 3rd.
I don't care who's been in the game tonight for the Texans. The battle up front. Watch Heinisch, by the way, the rookie out of Notre Dame, 69, get in there and get another. Actually, they push him back, but the rest of that defense does their job. But my point is, this team wants to be physically tough. They want to be able to win the line of scrimmage. That's their goal when the real season starts. Pretty good dress rehearsal towards that tonight on both sides.
You turn the quarterback sideways behind the line of scrimmage, you got a good chance to stop him, don't you?
Yeah.
So Kyle Allen at the helm from the 29-yard line. On the ground, Marlon Mack to the 25 as we tick down to the end of the 3rd quarter.
But to put a bow on that, it's going to be, I think, fascinating of all the things that are going to happen here in the next couple weeks with these rosters and everybody trying to maneuver things around. What happens with Jimmy Garoppolo and San Fran? Everybody is intrigued and interested, whether you're a 49ers fan or not. What's going to happen?
It is the story. And the clock will run out here in the 3rd as we go to the 4th with the score 17-0. Texans and Thursday Night Football on Prime continues after these messages. Fourth quarter in Houston. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung, Terry McCauley, 1,500 miles away, but has been very engaged with us tonight, making sure that all of the calls are correct. Fourth quarter, 17-0. Starts with a 2nd down and 6. At the 25-yard line, Marlon Mack to the outside, and he'll pick up the first down. And moments ago, down the field, Kaylee was with Kyle Shanahan.
Coach, your offensive starters got a couple of series in. How do you assess what you saw from Trey Lance?
Our whole offense was a little sloppy. You know, our starters got 2 drives. I kept Trey in for 3. Wanted to give him a little bit more experience. Way too many holdings and stuff. We got in a lot of bad situations, a lot of penalties. Wish I could have kept him out longer, but didn't get that opportunity.
Can you put into perspective what this last quarter of preseason football means to some of the guys out there?
I mean, there's guys fighting for roster spots, for practice squad, and really for tape for the rest of the league to see them. I mean, if they're not going to make it here, they're trying to put stuff on tape so they can make it somewhere else. I mean, there's a ton of pressure on these guys right here. Our goal is to get out of this game and not get anyone hurt the rest of the time, but I know a lot of people's career depends on this next quarter.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem. See ya.
So, Kirk, like in other sports, the NBA and hockey and in baseball, you now get to talk to the head coach between the first and second quarter and the other coach between the third and the fourth. Not all of the guys are necessarily thrilled about that. Finish that in a second on the 2nd down and 8. And frankly, I thought Kyle, after we talked to him last night about this, he's not happy about it. I thought he was going to go full Greg Popovich.
Yeah, I did too.
On Kaylee, who's making her debut tonight.
Yeah.
But he knows, hey, wait a second, I got to break her in the right way.
Yeah, I thought after the way he responded to Kaylee at the end of our call, like, hey, by the way, I'm going to have to interview you between the 3rd and the 4th. He said, I'm just going to apologize right now. I'm in a zone down there. I don't mean anything. But he was pretty harmless. In fact, really good information there. He set the tone here for this 4th quarter of the last preseason game and the importance of it for some of these guys on the field right now.
3rd down and 5. Remember, every team cuts from 80 to 53 by early next week. The pass to the end zone is incomplete. Laid it out there. Had for a moment Johnny Johnson the third. who won the opening game against New Orleans here a couple of weeks ago, and incomplete 4th down.
Great ball and a great route, just unable to come away with it. He's in the slot, just a little shake at the line of scrimmage, gets away with a hold there, but boy, he came very close to coming down with a touchdown there. But I thought it was a good ball. Quantrez Knight there defending.
So Amendola, who's had a nice night, 31-yard field goal attempt. Somebody may want to pick him up. Well, the minute, of course, they say it, of course. What else is new? The full kibosh. We had a couple tonight. Stays 17-7. So don't miss the action-packed new movie Samaritans, starring Sylvester Stallone, streaming tomorrow, August the 26th, only on Prime Video. Let's go to Kaylee.
Roland Ramirez, the Texans' head athletic trainer, is from Uvalde, Texas. That's about 4.5 hours west of here. And he went to Robb Elementary School, where that horrific tragedy struck in May. Some of his former classmates lost family members in the shooting. Ramirez told us words couldn't express his gratitude for the Texans' support. The organization donated $400,000 to the Memorial Fund, and many players reached out to donate to individual families in need. And now the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys showed their support too, donating a combined $800,000. Now,
it's a horrible story, of course. We'll remember it for a long time. Houston, Texas, site of tonight's final preseason game for these two teams. Davis Price is now in the backfield. Ty Davis Price, a rookie out of LSU. Play fake to him, going deep downfield, and too deep. In fact, it's incomplete. Intended receiver that time was Marcus Johnson.
Go back to what Kyle Shanahan said about players fighting for their lives. There's a rookie out in the field right now, left guard Jason Poe, who's been one of the surprises of camp for the 49ers, and trying to position himself. There he is, 62, trying to position himself to have a shot at left guard. Remember, we talked about they're trying to find that left guard. Well, he's a guy that started at Hutchinson Community College, then he went to Lenore-Ryan, then he ended up at Mercer. Some people feel he's not as big as your traditional guard, but as athletic and powerful as anybody you'll ever see.
2nd and 10. Reverse roll for Sudfeld. And overshoots the intended receiver. Turner's 3rd down and 10. Super Bowl odds.
Okay, let's see what we have here.
What we have here. In the AFC, the odds makers like the Bills.
Oh, Josh Allen up on the board.
4-1. Chiefs at about 7-1. Then the Bengals, who had a 2% chance at the beginning of last season, and you know what happened. Meanwhile, in the NFC, despite all the problems the Bucs have up front, 25%, Packers at 19%, and the Rams at 13%. For what it's worth. You don't bet, do you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Except for Mr. Ed and the.
Yeah, of course.
Offense number 50.
I make my way to the Kentucky Derby from time to time. And how many years did you cover the Kentucky Derby?
15, but I never had what you had, a $100,000 winner because of a disqualification.
Yeah.
And shared it with some buddies before the IRS comes knocking on the door.
Probably lost more than that in the other 19 years.
Yes, no kidding. When you give away 18% vigorous, that's what's going to happen. 3rd and 15. Look out from behind. He gets it away. The pass is caught outside the 20-yard line. And Troy Fumagalli is still about 3 yards shy of the first. It's 4th down.
Texans still running to the football, still playing hard. Let's not forget, as we all watch, we had a
offense number 67.
Pick that up.
Penalties decline.
Yeah, decline.
It's 4th down.
Again, remember how these guys are fighting to be able to try to win the job. Here's an example with Derek Rivers, who's had a monster camp. You can see the effort there to try to get in there. That was the holding call, but defenders downfield keeping him short just by flying at this football. These guys are either trying to make this team or show the league what they can do.
Shanahan cannot be happy about 11 accepted penalties against his team. Caught at the 26 and run back about 10 yards by Grayland Arnold.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it doesn't matter who's in there. You want it to be clean. You want to be efficient.
All right, we're back with you 3 weeks from tonight. We'll be at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Chargers and the Chiefs. Big AFC West battle to begin the first of 15 games on Prime Video's Thursday Night Football.
How good is that? I mean, how good is that? Steelers and Browns to follow. Cincinnati and Miami, Denver and Indy. I mean, you're talking about 4 great games out of the gate.
And later on, about halfway through the season, Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Have that one circled. In a 6 right here for Royce Freeman. And we go to Kaylee again.
Hey, Al, I've got the 9-time Pro Bowler, Trent Williams, the trusted left tackle for the 49ers. Now, Trent, after this performance tonight, what do you anticipate the conversation being in the offensive line room the next time you're all there together?
Yeah, I imagine, Coach going to do a lot of coaching. We got some young guys that are going to make mistakes, so it's not the end of the world, but it's one of those growing pain things.
Yeah, when you look to the interior of your O-line, you're looking at 2 new guards and a new center. How will that affect what you have to do?
I don't think it affects what I have to do. I mean, I'm 1 of 5. I got to handle my job regardless, so I can't, I'm not worried about it affecting my job.
Now, in the offseason, you made the effort to make an investment in 2 of your rookie linemen, in Spencer Burford and Jason Poe. You brought them down to your gym here in Houston. What was most important for you to teach them through that time together?
Just teaching them how to be a professional, what it looks like, what the work ethic look like, what the tempo look like, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, just little things like that. They were open to learn, so I was open to teaching them.
And what have those guys shown you since spending that time with you down here?
Yeah, they've definitely made some huge strides. Obviously, Spencer has been our day 1 starter. Poe has worked his way up into the second team. So they're both having a really good camp.
Trent, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Al.
All right, thank you, Kaylee.
I love that.
Classy guy, very.
Veteran guy, helps these young guys out. And he said, I'm 1 of 5, and they're finding 3 new starters, a guard, a center, and another guard. It's great to have a veteran like that help steer the ship.
No question. Interesting, too, we were doing a practice game with the Rams the other night. They got trouble up front as well. We were talking about Richard Sherman coming out of retirement. You think McVay's going to call our man Whitworth?
I keep teasing Whit that
offense.
Big fella, you got to stay in shape. Maybe getting a call in December. He's enjoying TV and doing a great job, but
terrific.
They may go to the bullpen before it's all said and done.
Delay a game here. They're going to punt.
There's a big fella. Went hoodie tonight.
He went hoodie tonight?
Went hoodie.
Left that ring at home, that 948-pound ring.
I think it was down there.
He brought it?
I think he did.
Got to get security around him. Johnson's punt, fair caught at the 14-yard line by Willie Snead. And guess what? There's a flag on the play. 11 accepted penalties against San Francisco. This one looks like it's, well, might be number 12. Kyle is going, I want to go home. Let's get on the plane. Let's get back.
Especially after.
Right. You got 17
things
days.
Haven't, forget the score, just things haven't been, the execution hasn't been to his liking, obviously.
Personal foul, chop block, kicking team numbers 46 and 57. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. It's first down, San Francisco.
Okay. Well, we're all saddened, of course, this past week to learn of the passing of Len Dawson. Such a classy man, great career, Hall of Fame inductee back in '87, played in Super Bowl I, beaten by the Kansas City Chiefs, but then he comes back and he wins Super Bowl IV against the Minnesota Vikings, hosted the NFL show on HBO for years. Classy man.
Yeah, a class act. And for my generation, that was really the first time you could get NFL highlights on a weekly basis. I look forward to that show every single week inside the NFL.
Well, you told me the halftime of Monday night you wanted Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
Hello again, everybody. Take a look.
Give us a little of that.
Number 98, Michael Dewumfor. Look at him.
That was our first chance to see any team, right?
Exactly.
On Monday night with Howard, but then the next step to a whole different degree was you sat around and watched it inside the NFL on HBO.
Absolutely, during the week.
Yeah.
Nice play by Dewumfor here. And, Howard had a 90-yard run back. He didn't know much. He said, Billy White, choose Johnson. Look at him go. Brock Purdy back in there right now. And taking off.
What would he say about the 50 when he's going to take it all the way?
He could go all the way. He's the first guy to say that, by the way.
Right. Who did you know back then? It was legendary. I mean, it lives on.
It does.
And it's almost everybody talks about it, that it was alive. It was alive at that time.
Whoever can remember it at this point.
Exactly, yeah.
You forget, Howard's last broadcast was 1983
sure.
on Monday night. 3rd down and 5 from the 34-yard line. Gets the errant snap, collects it, and picks up the first down. Nice move here. That's Turner. Shown some great back and forth skill. Gets you to the 50-yard line.
How about Purdy again? That gives you an idea about the athletic ability and the instincts. This is 3rd down, and this guy's trying to fight to win this backup job. Snap, gets through it, doesn't panic. And not only that, instead of scrambling and just taking off, instead vision downfield, locates the receiver, and picks up the first down. This kid Purdy, as a young guy, and I know it's just tonight, but he's had a great camp. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan is loving what he's seen from 14.
6 of 8 for 103 yards. Ty Davis Price right there. Let's go back to sound full. The draft day for Purdy.
Hey, buddy, this is John Lynch from the 49ers.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm sorry it took till the end. We find you very relevant, but you are going to be Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes, sir.
With the 262nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State.
Well, 2 things. Number one, I don't know if that's good to be called Mr. that label or not. And then how about the diehards that are still sticking around there for that last pick? That's crazy.
Well, here's what I think. Would you rather be the last guy picked in the 7th round, or would you rather be the first guy not picked, and then you have 32 teams at your disposal?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Calling. So you tell me.
And what's been new for me is to see how many undrafted free agents make it in the NFL. So you could handpick where you want to go. But, hey, I think it's worked out. He landed at a great situation.
And we're going to see what his future is now. We've talked about it throughout the game with the Garoppolo situation. Lance is going to be the guy. What do you do with Sudfeld?
Yeah.
Derek Rivers is down there working on him right now, so an injury time out here in Houston. Good news, we went to the break with Rivers on the turf, and there he is walking off. Very normally, under his own power.
Good to see. Like we've talked about quite a bit tonight. He's had just a great camp, come up with sacks in every game he's been out there playing.
Halfway through the 4th. 3rd down and 12. Purdy surveys, fires, caught. His good night continues. Fumagalli, the tight end. So they needed 12 and pick up enough for the first down on a 14-yard gain.
Shows some patience because Fumagalli gets caught and then works to the inside. And he hangs in there with him with a safety split. There's an opening there to the middle, but he's got to throw it on a line, which he's able to do. But you give Brock Purdy a chance to throw the ball into the interior of this defense, he has been on the money every single time.
7 of 10 for 117 yards is Purdy tonight. Again,
not that time.
Yeah, a little shoulder shake, and sure enough, the minute we start talking about how great he is, Jake Hansen with the interception back to the 49-yard line. We just have to shut up here.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Well, we just talked about how he's in the middle. This time, I want you to watch his eyes. His head looks right and then kind of comes back left without finding the linebacker. Watch the eyes look off to the right, and then how I don't think he ever locates Henson. He goes there, but here's the interception. I don't think he locates him. Comes back, makes the throw. Henson steps right in front of it. He's surveying that. There's a good look at Henson. Henson just does a nice job of feeling it. Bounced left, came back to the right, and then right in that passing lane comes up with the interception.
In amongst 3 blue shirts. So at the 46-yard line, you got Jeff Driscoll at quarterback now. And it's a big hole over the left side and a nice run here by the veteran Royce Freeman.
You want to know how you make the team in a crowded backfield? There's going to be guys cut. You have versatility. Royce Freeman is a tailback by his calling coming out of Oregon, and he's been like that in the NFL. He's played some fullback tonight, and now he's playing some tailback, which he's comfortable with. Great vision to cut that back. That could go to the right, or he could bounce it back to the left, and he just kind of felt that, showed patience and vision.
Been in the league for 5 years with the Broncos, the Panthers. Trying to hook on now with the Texans. Here he is again, a little dancing in the backfield, netting him nothing. Down we go to Kaylee.
Hey guys, don't let these diamonds distract you. I know. It's hard to look away, but Super Bowl champ, my friend Andrew Whitworth, and part of our TNF Tonight crew was so kind to let me slip this thing on. Man, this thing's heavy. You got used to wearing it yet?
An arm workout. You know what, I have. It's been fun to take it around, all the people that appreciate how beautiful it is, and no one more than me.
How do you describe the whirlwind that was the last 4 days of your NFL career?
It's so special. I mean, there's so many people that are a part of that journey, that Thursday night winning Walter Payton Man of the Year, and how many people that were part of that in Cincinnati and LA, just my passion for the community and helped me along the way. And then obviously winning a Super Bowl with an organization and a group of people you couldn't love and appreciate more. It was so special.
Let me make sure I'm showing this ring off as I hold this microphone up to you. What is your lasting memory of those last couple drives before you won the game?
Obviously just all the work and time that have been put into that moment to go and win and know that you got to score to win this game and to go do it. And then for the defense to close it out and to go on that field for the last couple plays to kneel it. I'll never forget Matthew Stafford walking in the huddle with water in his eyes and all of us making eye contact and realizing this is really happening and just the emotion that overcomes you for that moment.
Now, the Rams' offensive line is looking a little thin after last week's game against the Texans. Has your phone been ringing?
It has. I mean, obviously there's been some things with, the Cowboys and losing Tyron Smith was an awful deal. Such a great player and guy I've always just loved watching play. But it's been a busy day of answering calls. The problem is they're calling and texting the wrong person. They need to be texting and calling Melissa Whitworth and the kids because they have final approval on whether I'm ever going to play football again for sure.
Well, I hope that TNF, stays at the top of your priority list. But, hey, if you can play, you're ready to go.
That's right. But, look, I ended my season winning a Super Bowl, playing for an amazing team and organization, and I'm starting my next chapter with an amazing crew of people, everybody from the game talent to the production talent, TNF before the game and after. It's an amazing group of people that I couldn't be more happy to be with, and we're looking forward to doing awesome things together.
Well, we're so glad to have you. Thank you so much, Whit. Appreciate it. Al?
And he's playing golf 3 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
First-hand witness.
By the way, that was GMs around the league saying, so you're saying there's a chance.
He's 40 years old. I mean, had he ended any better than that? He's right. He's got a family, loves his life right now. We hope he stays with us for a long, long time. Meanwhile, Kaylee will be singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend on the car ride home tonight.
I think she could have wore that as a bracelet.
Incredible.
That thing was massive.
49ers at the 12-yard line. Ball is fumbled and recovered there by Brock Purdy. Take it down to 4 minutes.
You see the Rams and the Bengals, they've been working together before their preseason game. They got after it.
They did. Aaron
Donald right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to believe there's some lingering emotions right after that Super Bowl and the way that game ended.
Here you go. Here's what happened. This is today.
Yeah.
The Rams
There's
are in
helmets
Cincinnati,
flying.
right? They got they're scrimmaging and then they'll play a preseason game on Saturday. And of all guys, Aaron Donald is the one that comes out of the pile.
I saw helmet. You see those helmets?
Of course.
My God.
He had him in both hands, too.
Yeah. See, now he's out of rhythm. You know, when he's throwing like any quarterback, in this one, he just wants to get out in a hurry. But that's what you got to be careful of. A simple little throw like that, if you're off balance and not in rhythm, a little throw because it's like a shortstop, just get it out quick. But instead, I think he's kind of anticipating his receiver to move a little bit towards the line of scrimmage, so he led him there. But it just looked like he rushed that a little bit.
Try to get it to the longtime veteran Willie Snead. So 3rd down and 10 now, and he fires that one complete for a first down. And there is one Willie Snead, the 4th, for a first down.
You know, we always talk about at this position how many reps you have. You talk to anybody in the NFL, they always want to see guys that have played a lot of football. Now, you can overcome not being a veteran starter. Mac Jones didn't play a ton at Alabama. We're seeing Trey Lance didn't play a lot at North Dakota State. In this case, with Brock Purdy, he had over 1,400 attempts in 4 years of starting. So the reason that's important is it helps read coverage, slow things down. Everything makes sense when you have those kind of reps.
About 3 times as many passes as, as Trey Lance has thrown over that period of time.
Yeah.
That's Ty Davis Price, the rookie out of LSU. Meanwhile, at Iowa State, 4 years there in Ames, Iowa.
You know, and what he dealt with there is they went with Matt Campbell as their head coach of just kind of being an afterthought. Matt Campbell comes in, changes the culture, and he's right in the driver's seat as this team went from being a team you forgot about to all of a sudden being picked by the time he left to win the Big 12. And that's pressure, and he dealt with that and handled it well.
This should take us to the 2-minute warning. And we're going to take a peek at the 2-minute warning at some of the games that are coming up in 2 weeks, which begins on a Thursday night 2 weeks from tonight when the Bills will be heading to Los Angeles. And here are the big games for week number 1. It starts with a Thursday nighter, the Bills taking on the Rams, and then the CBS late game, as you saw there. Well, there's Bills-Rams one more time on NBC. They'll drop the banner. The whole thing happens that night. You got Allen, you got Stafford, you got Kansas City at Arizona, which is the late game on CBS on that Sunday. And you got the Fox game. Late game, Green Bay against Minnesota.
It's go time.
It's go time.
It is go time. These are some games.
Denver at Seattle, and of course that means Russell Wilson goes back home, taking on Metcalf and his ex-mates in the Monday Nighter on September the 12th.
Schedule makers know what they're doing, right? I mean, that's as intriguing of matchups as you could hope for.
Well, yeah, you got to front-end it a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you know who's going to play each other by the end of the season the prior year, right? And then it's just a matter of
where are you going to put them.
Mike North and Howard Katz juggling.
Do a great job.
Yep. Figuring out the 84 million combinations. 3rd down and 6. Bouncing around, staying alive. Like a video game now. And finally taken down to the 23-yard line.
Again, it's 3rd down. He's trying to win a backup job here to Trey Lance. He's trying to make a play, but really good coverage downfield. Nowhere to go with the ball. But the reason you see him running around is he didn't want to give up on 3rd down. Gives you an idea how much time we ran off this clock as far as the coverage. This is called plastering the receivers. The DBs are taught when the quarterbacks run around like that, keep your eye on that receiver and don't let him get away from you.
Odelay finally takes him down, and the clock is stopped here.
Cisco,
for a timeout.
30-second timeout. Please reset the game
by
clock to 1 minute 21
49ers,
seconds.
and we can tell you that when this is over and done with on the field, Kaylee will interview the star of the game, and then Carissa, Tony, Fitz, and Sherm will break it all down on the TNF post game coming up right after the game. Very little traffic in Houston this time of night. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. Pete Fitzpatrick after 9 o'clock, right? What a beauty he is.
Oh, yeah.
So Trey Lance, he's got 2.5 weeks. When they went from 4 games to 3, you get that extra week off next week. So every team's going to have 2 weeks plus to prepare for the opener. He stays in on 4th and 13. What's he going to do now? He's going to try to run for it, but nothing doing. And for a change, there's a flag on the other side of the field.
All the way in the other sideline, away from where he was.
Thought I saw an offside signaled. Preliminarily, it was
before the quarterback left the pocket.
4th and 13.
Illegal contact. Defense number 20. This 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. It's an automatic first down.
Yeah, there you go. Second time we've seen a 4th and long become a first down.
Yeah.
A 5-yard penalty.
Yeah. After receiver gets downfield by 5 yards, you touch him, you get a hand on him. See what happens here. Yeah, he gets past 5 yards. Still, he's still downfield grabbing him. Well, the quarterback's in the pocket. That's illegal touching. And again, like you said, just 5 yards, but they get the first down.
You know, with 1:11 left in the 4th in the final preseason game, I think you let stuff go, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
The pass is caught at the 40-yard line as we run out the clock here, and Malik Turner gets hit hard.
Not to mention, you go back to the interview with Kaylee and Kyle Shanahan, and you can just see the look on his face. Hey, yeah, we're excited to give these guys a chance. We just want to get out of here without anybody getting hurt.
Wide open, making the grab there in Houston territory is Marcus Johnson.
There's one guy that's trying to keep that clock alive, Brock Purdy. He wants to keep getting those reps.
The defense did not get off the field. This penalty's declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Purdy keeps firing that ball downfield. He doesn't care who's on the field, what players, whether they're going to make the team or not. He just wants to keep having a chance to make a throw. It's Heinisch that couldn't quite get off the field there, giving him 12-man, but saw him decline it.
You and I were talking before the game. So you cut from 80 to 53.
Yeah.
You got 32 teams. That means 864 guys will be out on the street after cutdown day.
Right. And then you wonder how quickly those players then find a home on the practice squad where you can, still many cases you get cut from a team and you end up getting back on the team even though you're not on an active roster. But yeah, that's over 800 guys.
864. Or you wait around for the USFL next year or the XFL or whoever's going to play.
Yeah, but there's some guys that are actually contributors and starters, especially for the 49ers, they've been through that process of being cut back to the practice squad 4 or 5 times, and then finally they're getting a chance to be starters. So there's always that chance.
And that pass is incomplete and broken up. That's Marcus Johnson again with Yadam breaking it up. Second down. You think we'll make the cut for Kansas City?
I hope so.
Call Fred Goodell and find out.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Freddie.
Yep.
Well, we had the practice game last week at SoFi, right?
We did, yeah. Right.
The Truck had a practice game before that.
Right.
So I think we've worked the kinks out ourselves here.
We're ready
in the preseason games.
We're ready for action.
We're ready for.
Yep.
We're ready for the ball to get in the air.
It's in the air right here, and it's caught at the 24-yard line. It's Willie Snead, so the only question is, can the 49ers get on the scoreboard? And what they're going to do here is
the thing that's been most fascinating for me here these first couple weeks is you're not really big into vegetables. You're like almost offended if they get near you.
I just came from
around the table.
I came from a VA meeting. Vegetables Anonymous.
Right. But if they come close to you, it's
look out. No.
Yeah.
No, Michelle.
Not happening.
Michelle Tafoya once tried to sneak some Brussels sprouts into this body.
How did she do that?
4 or 5 vodkas helped. A little swing pass to the outside.
That would take some courage.
Yes, it would. or stupidity.
Yeah.
Anyway,
oh boy, one last one.
Why not? Why not?
One last one. Let's give it one more shot here.
Yep. No time called as Mason loses his shoe.
Delay of game by the defense. Number 43 threw the runner's shoe out of the area. This is a 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
You see something new every night, don't you?
Well, I saw that in college with Florida and LSU. Cost Florida the game. But Cashman just gives it a backhanded flip.
Oh, please. What are we talking about here?
Right. Oh, man.
He says, go get some odor eaters in that thing. I got to get that out of here. Well, big boy, it's on to we're laughing because we can see Terry McCauley. Terry will work on the Embassy Suites in Baytown all next week for the Late Show. That pass over the middle is caught for a first down, taken down at the 7-yard line. Ball is out, but the play was blown dead.
And Kyle Shanahan called a timeout.
He did. He wants to put some, as they say, points on the board. A cliche I've never used before, but with 6 seconds to go in the game, what the hell?
That and he's taking advantage of situational awareness. You know, he's allowing these backup quarterbacks, receivers to have to work towards this. Did the ball come out or is he down? Looks like the
ball
knee
starts to come out.
It did. Might need another. Here we go. See. Oh, that ball was moving before that knee touched.
San Francisco their final timeout of the half with 9 seconds left. Please reset the game clock to 9 seconds. It's first down.
Terry, didn't that look like the ball was moving before that left knee touched?
It does. It does, Kirk. Of course, this goes to booth review if New York wants to look at this.
New York went home.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I think it's more of keep it moving.
Right. I mean, let's be serious.
Yeah.
The ball's at the 8-yard line.
We're good.
Yes, we're very good.
We're good.
All right, 1 or 2 plays left in the game. Can the Texans get their shutout? Can the 49ers put it into the end zone? And they can't because it's juggled by Willie Snead. Normally a pretty sure-handed receiver through the years. We watched him for a number of seasons. 8, in fact, could not hold it in.
Ball couldn't have been thrown any better, and obviously Willie just takes his eyes off the ball there at the last second, maybe looking down to get his feet down to be sure that he had enough room to get down. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just not finishing the play there. And nobody more frustrated than Willie Snead.
You know, I'd like to tell you something's in play, but it's 17-0. Nothing's in play.
We're good.
You know,
this should be it. 5 seconds.
Not even in Vegas, Atlantic City, or any place else.
Nobody.
Final play of the game, barring a defensive foul, all the way back to the 33. And finally, that will do it. Cannons go off. To the 49ers, we're a slight favorite tonight, but Houston says it's all us. They win 17-0. Don't go anywhere because the gang from the postgame show will wrap things up right after these messages.